Sanmonan, hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Now the story continues, okay? Now corrupt officials from G4S, a company managing the Mangaung Maximum Prison in Bloemfontein, used to snake Facebook rapist ThaboBester out of the facility so he could spend cozy nights with Dr Nandipha in a 5-star hotel in Ballito. Now, Sunday independent investigations revealed that ThaboBester, while he was still in prison, using his alias Tom Nkwana with identity number 88061395-46081, booked a 5-star hotel in Ballito, KwaZulu-Natal, where he was allegedly joined by Dr Nandipha. Now, on several occasions, Dr Nandipha booked at the same hotel herself, and Bester was allegedly driven by the G4S officials from Bloemfontein to Ballito to join her for a romantic getaway. Now, their investigation revealed that Dr Nandipha booked the same hotel on April 12 to 15, 2021, August 17 to 20, 2021, March 9 to 11, 2022. So these are like 3 nights, all right? Nothing less than that. Now, Thabo also booked a room under his alias Nkwana at the same hotel from March 9 to 11, 2022. Makudumane also booked 2 other rooms at the same hotel. Now, it is suspected that it was during these days that the final touches for ThaboBester's escape plan were made. Now, days before ThaboBester escaped from prison after faking his death, and with the help of his friends from G4S, who brought a corpse to his solitary cell and burned it, Makudumane booked herself at the same hotel for 11 straight days from April 19 to 30, 2022. Now, on the same day, April 30, 2022, Bester asked to be moved to a solitary cell for his own safety after he supposedly failed to pay a prison gang for a protection fee. Now, a prisoner who was occupying the cell at the time and whose name is known to Sunday Independent was forcefully removed to make room for ThaboBester and also forced to cancel his request to be in solitary cell the same evening. Now, the Justice and Correctional Services Portfolio Committee in Parliament heard this week how Bester was moved into cell 35 without proper approval and that the cameras pointing to the cell were conveniently not working when he escaped. Now, decoy, a CCTV technician who worked for a company contracted by G4S to operate the camera, was arrested on Wednesday and appeared in the Bloemfontein Magistrate Court on Thursday along with Dr Makudumane after he was accused of tampering with the cameras that night. Now, the Justice and Correctional Services Portfolio Committee heard how the cameras facing cell 35 that Thabo was locked into went working between 7:38 p.m. on May 2, 2022 and 4:10 a.m. on May 3, 2022. Now, 2 officials who were working in the central control room that night were also fired for failing to report that the cameras weren't working to the relevant authorities. Now, former G4S security officer Osenohe, who is alleged to be central to Bester's escape and allegedly recruited Lipolo for the work, appeared in the same court on Tuesday, along with Makudumane's father Zolile Sekelane. Now, the Justice and Correctional Services Portfolio Committee heard that Osenohe, who was the duty supervisor the night Bester escaped, wasn't even supposed to be at work as he is a permanent day shift employee. Now, the committee heard how he arrived at the prison at 4:52 p.m. on April 29, 2022, driving a bakkie with a registration number KG97KMGP, allegedly hired by Sekelane from Sunny Fleet Management in Boksburg, ferrying a corpse which was later burned in Bester's cell. Now, hidden in a plasma TV stand, he allegedly asked 3 other officers to carry the plasma stand to the workshop storeroom. So he lied and said there was actually, a plasma TV stand, but turns out it was allegedly a corpse. Now, he also removed officials on guard from their strategic positions that night to attend to some sick prisoners, and Bester escaped from prison in the early hours of May 3, 2022, after allegedly paying 5 million rands to at least 9 G4S officials. Now, Sunday Independent also revealed that Usenohe sneaked out of prison that morning to escort ThaboBester out. Now, records of Senohe's access card seen by Sunday Independent show that he left the facility at 3:45 a.m. and returned at 4:05 a.m., just 5 minutes before the camera started working again. Now, Makudumane's father, Zolile Sekelane, arrived at the prison on May 3, 2022 to collect Bester's body before G4S could reach any of his next of kin to report him dead. Now, prison officials refused to hand over the body to him because he wasn't registered as Bester's relative. And the following day, on May 4, 2022, Makudumane arrived at the prison to claim the body, flaunting an affidavit and statement from her father, acknowledging that Bester was his daughter's customary wedded husband. Now, Makudumane's affidavit was commissioned in Polokwane, Limpopo, by a police officer who was fired in January 2022. 4 months before the incident. Now, after the jailbreak, it is believed that Bester and Makudumane checked themselves into the same hotel in Durban hours after the escape, and that the booking was done by one of their friends. 7 days later, on May 10, 2022, Makudumane hired a Mercedes-Benz S63 AMG with an offer to purchase it for 1.7 million rands from a car dealership in Umhlanga, not far from the hotel. Now, Bester used the car to skip the country for Zimbabwe the following day, where he was supposed to lie low. But unfortunately, an incident happened. The car was impounded at Bedbridge border post after its driver, named by a Zimbabwean newspaper as Celo Ndlovu, was allegedly caught red-handed removing its South African registration plate from the car and replacing them with Zimbabwean plates, and was arrested. Now, Bester, who was being smuggled through illegal post on foot to join his driver on the Zimbabwean side as he didn't have a passport, came face to face with soldiers patrolling the border. One of his smugglers was shot but survived. Now, they all managed to escape. Sunday Independent understand that Bester stayed in Zimbabwe for a few days and was forced to return to South Africa after Makudumane allegedly failed to pay the Zimbabwean smugglers who were looking after him. Now, on his return to South Africa, ThaboBester booked himself into the same hotel in Palito from June 11 to June 14, 2022. Now, Thabo and Makudumane later rented a 12 million rand house in Hyde Park, north of Johannesburg, where they were paying 40,000 rands a month. They hired a maid and a gardener from Zimbabwe who have since vanished without a trace. Now, the couple stayed in Hyde Park until the news about Bester's existence broke, and they fled to the same hotel where they hid for a few days. Again, the room was booked by one of their friends. The couple left the hotel in a black SUV minutes before the police raided the establishment and skipped the country to Mozambique, where they stayed for a few days before proceeding to Tanzania, where they were arrested in the early hours of last Sunday. Now, the two lovebirds, now popular known as the new South African Bonnie and Clyde, were handed to the South African authorities who fetched them from Tanzania during the week. They arrived in South Africa in the early hours of Thursday via Lanseria International Airport. They appeared in court on various charges, including murder, fraud, and the violation of a corpse. Now, Makudumane appeared on Thursday while Bester was in court on Friday. Now, Makudumane and the other accused, including her father, Senohe and Lipole, are expected back in court tomorrow for a formal bail application, while Bester will remain in custody serving the remainder of his sentence. Now, Sunday Independent confirmed that Makudumane's legal husband, Dr. Mkhulesi Makudumane, initiated a divorce after he established that his wife was spending more time with Bester and that she was one of his regular visitors in prison. Now, Dr. Nandipha, Makudumane's lawyer, Vuyo, confirmed that his client is facing a divorce. He said, and I quote, "I am aware of the divorce, but it wasn't part of my briefing. Therefore, I can't talk about my client's private matters." Now, Correctional Services spokesperson Singabako Ngumalo, yesterday, he said that the Mangaung Correctional Center is classified as a maximum facility. As a result, it does not cater for day parole. He also mentioned that the department wasn't aware of Bester's night out, as such an act can never be permitted. Now, the portfolio committee also heard this week that ThaboBester was authorized to use his personal computer as he was studying, but Ngumalo could not explain when ThaboBester obtained the device, who delivered it to the prison, and what brand it was. Now, Ngumalo also failed to give out the last 10 people who visited ThaboBester in prison before he escaped. He said, and I quote, "An ongoing investigation is always looking at these details and realizing such information may jeopardize the case." Now, there you have it, Mzansi. Now, of course, all credit goes to Sunday Independent. They are the ones that released this information. Yeah, and do let me know what you think in the comment section down below.